Hi Leo, welcome to your horoscope. Today we're going to talk about certain aspects that are going to play out throughout the year of 2021, and some of them which will even extend all the way to 2026. That's when Uranus will finally leave your house of career. These are your critical axes that both Saturn and Uranus have activated. Saturn is sitting in your house of relationships, partnerships, one-on-one connections, and Uranus is sitting right on the top of your chart in your house of career, and it has been there since 2018. Wherever Uranus goes, we see some amount of volatility, shifts in that area of your life, but more importantly, we are detached from anything that is not real, that is not long lasting, that is not part of our destiny moving forward. Uranus is the planet of freedom, so it frees us from whatever is holding us back from being who we need to. Sitting in your house of external identity, your leadership style, the way you come across in your career, the kind of career you choose, Uranus is trying to free you up to be independent in your career, to be free to be who you are in your career. The issues and volatility that you might be experiencing when it comes to authority figures, when it comes to job changes, when it comes to up and down in dealing with authorities, even in personal life, they're all to contribute to a new you when it comes to how you handle authority, how you handle your leadership style, how you change the way you are in the way people see you, how you're perceived by people as a leader, how you're perceived by people in your career, how you're perceived as an authority of your own talents and of your own genius. Karl Marx, Michelangelo, they had Uranus in their house of career from birth. They had genius, inventive careers. They were known for it. Whenever we have a planet which is sitting on a critical axis, especially Uranus sitting in a house of career, which happens very rarely to very few signs because Uranus comes in a house once in 84 years. So there are not a lot of signs. In fact, there will be nobody who you know apart from one or two signs who would have ever experienced this in their lifetime. So as a sign, it's going to change what kind of careers Leos pursue. It will change the way careers are defined by Leos. There are certain careers which haven't even been formed and found and invented that Leos will be engaged in. These are very unique in nature. They have lucrative underpinning to it, and it changes the way you look at career because you have Taurus in your house of career. Taurus is a stable sign, so you like career stability, you like fixity in your house of career, you like to go for normally careers that are known, that are reputable. You're a leader of arts, you're a leader of business in some way. You have a reputation of being a king. You sort of have a reputation of having a sense of duty for the job you do. This is usually financial house. Taurus is known for financial, so your career is normally in finance or some sort of line which is appreciating art, appreciating things of value in some ways, and you're able to create consistent income, fixed income in some ways from the jobs that you're involved in. Uranus is anything but fixed. So when Uranus first entered your house of career in 2018, you might have already experienced this initial shift that is happening. And now, over the course of this year, with Uranus and Saturn doing their dance together, they're making a square aspect. The first aspect is happening on 17th of February. The second one will happen in June, and the third one, which is supposed to produce the final result, will happen on 24th of December. These three aspects which are happening over the course of 2021, they are all about removing the old structure of life, which needs to be broken for you to be free. And it will involve you to break away from an old mold when it comes to your career. It will require you to move away from the way you handle one-on-one relationships, the way you handle clients, the way you handle the give and take in relationships. What are your boundaries when it comes to other people? How much of you do you give into them? Where's the balance between who you are as a person versus how much you're giving to other person? So your one-on-one relationships professional as well as personal, will change as your whole personality modifies with Uranus in the 10th house, making you more free, making you more you, making you vibrate at a higher frequency so you can go for the career, the projects, the kind of jobs, the kind of profession that are more in line with who you are as a person. There will be new radical ideas that you can channel into concrete ways because of this aspect. And right now, we are in the process of seeding some of those ideas, seeding some of those, this dissonance that we feel within ourselves. We are almost forced to harness this inner tension in some ways into a passion, into a purpose that permits you to participate in a larger expression of life versus being limited to one person, versus being limited to one relationship, versus being limited to an environment which is too oppressive to your creativity, too oppressive to your need to be a leader in your line. You do not want ordinary anymore in your career, and you do not want to be looked at as ordinary as well when it comes to your career. You want innovation. You're a force for change. Taurus in your house of career makes you a force to be reckoned with when it comes to your job, when it comes to your position, when it comes to your leadership style. And Uranus is freedom. You want to be a force to reckon with, who's lucrative, who's beneficial, who creates something of concrete value, but you do not want the shackles around it. In the old way of earning that we all used to follow, because we were living the age of earth signs till now. And the shift that has happened since December, when Saturn and Jupiter met in air signs, starting a new cycle of growth, new cycle of abundance after 200 years and more. We're just getting started on a cycle where new ways of making money would become common, would become normal as compared to the traditional structures of corporations, of money being a substance for the few. So you would want to break free from your old shackles to be able to express yourself and your new radical brilliant ideas in a concrete way through a structure which may not be restrictive, which may not be restricted to a job, or where you are the boss of yourself, or at least you have the authority to express yourself. Not all Leos are going to leave their jobs, but they would definitely redefine what they're doing in their career. They would redefine to get more space, to be able to get more freedom to express their creativity, their inventiveness, their idealistic side in the matter of the way they express their leadership style at work. Not a follower, always a leader. That's almost the definition of Leos in some ways. And now with Uranus over here, it takes away some sort of unseen shackle that you might have held yourself in. And it will help you get out of that shell. And it will happen through, if I may say, a little bit of stress, because the Saturn square is a harsh aspect. So it's happening through tremendous tension of probably conflict between your external responsibilities and your responsibility to one person. Your responsibility possibly to somebody who you think you owe karma to. There'll be an urge to break free of these perceived restrictions. But this need for security that you hold inherently in your chart would hold you back. And this process of back and forth during the course of this year is all about breaking free from that pattern that holds you back. The tremendous tension that you will feel when this aspect becomes exact 3 times during the course of this year, that will become the source of unending supply of creativity and enormous amount of confidence in self to break free. So you will redefine how you deal with authority. You will redefine how much of you do you give in a relationship. You will redefine the boundaries of your relationships, how you deal with relationships. Saturn is in your house of relationships for the next 2 years, all the way till early 2023, till March of 2023. Saturn is in your house of relationships, in your opposite sign. When that happens, the rules of engagements with people who live with us who are part of our life, who are part of the long run in our life. That changes. Also, we expand the understanding of human nature and how to deal with it. People will demand a lot of you because Saturn is responsibility, Saturn is karma, but Saturn is also making something efficient. It's about making something efficient. How do we deal with others while not losing our own interests? Some relationships would have to be detoxed while that happens. Similarly, some relationship patterns would have to be detoxed in this process. Because there are two parts of you which are at war with each other. One who wants to break free, and the other feels that they owe something to the significant other or to the others in your life. And you will feel like it's almost, you might have been feeling already, that you're trapped with no escape when that happens. Saturn square Uranus helps you find a constructive outlet. It helps you create new foundation, new rules, new boundaries of relationships. So they can grow and add to you versus becoming a burden on you. Every human relationship brings us to the next level of growth. Whether they're client relationships, their marriage, or their relationship with our parents. But the give and take with each of those persons helps us redefine how we deal with others without losing ourselves. People will need you more for support when this happens. It doesn't mean you have to give up control of your life in order to do that. There needs to be a little bit of separation in relationships here. You have Aquarius, the sign of objectivity in your house of relationships. The relationships need to be handled in an intellectual fashion, if I may say, instead of in an emotional fashion. The more you handle clients, your significant others, the people who live with you, the business partners with you in an objective fashion, and you will be able to, you'll have a concentration of planet throughout this year in that house, and you have Jupiter, the great benefic, sitting in your house of relationships. You're learning wherever Jupiter is, we are expanding, we are learning, we are benefiting from it. So you learn to benefit from your business relationships, you'll learn to benefit from your clients, you'll get chances to have many clients, many relationships, many people in your house. It's like when Jupiter is here, usually we tie a knot if we are not married, or we get somebody who becomes a support system for the long run when we have both Saturn and Jupiter over there. More importantly, others become a source of our growth. Others become a source of both our financial as well as our emotional growth in this process, and they add to us. Saturn is lucrative over here. They're supposed to support your goals. They're supposed to add to you. Social events, PR, promoting, being with other people, being with people in general is supposed to add to you. You'll find a partner or a business associate or a consultant or a PR agent or a person who can support you in dealing with others, who would help you in your economic growth. As well as that person will be your friend. And you might have already found that person, and this exercise helps you create the right rules of engagement with that person. There will be Aquarius, wherever it is, we see sudden developments. So sudden developments in relationships, sudden development in partnerships, sudden development in committed contract with others. This is the house of commitment to another, and it could be a business nature or of professional nature. So the stellium of planets, the multiple planets that are sitting in your house, and we just have a new moon as well in that house. So a new phase is starting in that house, is in your house of others, in your house of relationship with others, in your house of commitment to others, in your house of contracts with others. So there could be sudden development when it comes to a contract, which could be brilliant, which can help you find this unique career situation that you're looking for. And some long-term held relationships, long-term held jobs can completely shift in their nature as a result of that. Because what you want out of those relationships, what you want out of your career position, that is changing. So when what we are asking out of life is changing, then the scenario around us is going to evolve along with that. So there might be certain relationships that have outlived their purposes. There could be separation on there, where the individual is cannot be any more part of your karma. You feel limited by a partner or a relationship. You can feel that you're not able to think for yourself when you're with them. And the karmic events could cause you to move away from that situation in some way. Similarly, this situation can bring in somebody through whom you can understand yourself a bit better, knowing yourself through the eyes of others. There are people who could bring out another side of you that you've been waiting for. You would want a more meaningful relationship, a relationship with more equality, more balance of give and take. And in the same process, you would want to develop a social identity instead of being isolated. So you would find yourself connecting with people online more. You would find yourself being on platforms more. You'll find yourself playing bigger role in the society as well, especially in humanitarian causes. Or if you are in a client management role, you'll find yourself sharing more of you and finding the right outlet to connect with lucrative clients. You'll find the right way to use technology in a way to connect with the clients who need to be part of your business. You would find a way to get the business partner who needs to support you. You'll find group contracts that are lucrative. You'll find creative partnerships. You would be doing more and more of group shows, public shows, where people have to work together and present their creative, brilliant, forward looking, ahead of the time ideas. And as you do that, you'll find the right support system for it, either a married spouse, close friend, counselor, coach, some sort of a support system who's more consistent with you in the way you like it and who's able to enrich your mind, who's able to give you a bigger vision of life, who's able to work with you as you dream up a bigger vision of your life. You'll be pushed to seek a more public role when it comes to your career. You would not be satisfied by being a, if I may say, meek partner when that happens in your personal life. You'll be more direct, even more confrontational in relationships, if I may say. Because you're growing in power and others will feel that, others will respond to that. As I said, when your vibration is different, your surroundings will change. So as you raise your vibration, the people who are there in your surroundings, they're going to change too. Through your actions, through your communication, you would ask for more equality and more balance in your relationships. And you'll face the issues in relationships and partnerships head on. You would not walk around them. With this process of the square 3 times this year, you learn to stand up for yourself, not pretending that issues don't exist in the relationship. These are fixed houses. We sometimes outlive their expiry. We outlive the expiry of a pattern as well. That we have outgrown that pattern, but we don't let us outgrow that pattern. So you would face those issues head on and not pretend that it doesn't exist. When Saturn is here, we learn to handle others in an efficient fashion. So you learn to delegate as well more instead of everything becoming your problem. And you'll see that there's an art of creative delegation, which most of us don't excel in, but you have the aspects to learn that this year. And you'll give credit to others where it is due when they're helping you out. It is teaching you the importance of relationships and how they contribute to your growth. But at the same time, it is teaching you how to keep yourself safe as well. How to deal with friction in relationships. It is even teaching you to see the merit in competition, see the merit in enemies even. This is the house of enemies where Saturn is. It's funny that astrology puts spouse and enemies in the same house, but it's just how it is. It's uh, it's the others in your life who are part of your life, but they're not you. So you're learning to deal with them, learning to deal with even the critics, and even learning the importance of having them because they will add to your expansion in some ways. The criticism and the negative feedback that might be coming on the other side would make you more than less. Relationships with friends will make you more. Being part of humanitarian causes will make you more. You'll receive insights about yourself through others. There will be unexpected gains, opportunities that come from these instances, from cultural events, from being part of the other's life. And when we progress forward, we will learn to deal with relationship friction in a more objective fashion in some ways, setting realistic expectations about what you want and what you're willing to do for the others. In humanitarian causes, issues of rights, justice, equality, they'll feel more important to you than they did before. You would learn to deal with adversaries, as I said, but also people at work, conflict between relationships, whether they're career or personal, it will be a huge learning in that sense to close that gap. Similarly, on relationships, if in the past, instability of the relationship, the challenge is sometimes that there's so much going on in our career, we're not able to give so much of ourselves to a partnership, to a relationship. And with this, you'll sort of learn this conflict between uh, trying to do something different in your career while having a stable relationship. The other issue which frequently comes up with the square, which is highlighted, which we overcome, is issue with typically with mother figure. And issue with mother figure, sometimes it interferes in your relationships. Sometimes it interferes in your ability to be independent in some ways. You'll find the opportunity to deal with that as well. And at the same time, you're trying to land a entrepreneur or some sort of independent leader kind of an opportunity. So these two things are going to be a little bit, if I may say, overwhelming. In fact, this year, the Saturn square Uranus is going to be a little bit more. It's a fixed T square. Fixed T square is tense. I'm being very honest with you. So you find the balance in the equation, because when you have so much concentration of planets in your relationship house, you have to go to the other side to find balance. And the other side is Leo. The other side is you. The other side is trying to find a space to fill your cup, because as you try to go deeper into relationships, into new contracts, into these partnerships, you could feel that you are neglecting your own body, your own ego, your own charm. You're a leader, you're a charming person who likes to do things that they love. You like joy. I mean, Leo is a sign which stands for joy. It stands for shining, for showmanship, for center stage, for creativity. So, whenever you feel that too much of you is going in the other, you have to find the balance on the other side. And you can feel overwhelmed by close relationships through this back and forth, indecision in relationships, delay with others. So, it would be the time to sort of, find yourself away from close relationships by putting yourself in the stage, by immersing yourself in some creative thing, putting yourself on as the center of your own attention itself would do half the job. But doing something, and it's not vain, doing something which is ego gratifying, ego identifying, even doing something that feels good to your body, doing something to take care of yourself physically in some ways, because the relationships are going to take some part of you, because they're trying to change who you are to become another version of you which can be better for you. Most of the time, we could be, when Saturn visits here, and if any of you are even friends with Leos, you might be experiencing that because it's easier to see as a friend this thing. You can become very focused on one commitment, one relationship. It could be a relationship with a partner, it could be a contract we have signed in a new job, or it could be a mother, it could be a close relationship, a person you live with. Your entire senses can become obsessed with one relationship, one commitment, one karma. And we can lose perspective of anybody else in our life when that happens. And you will have to actively keep an eye out for that during the course of this year. There'll be a need to balance out obligation. There'll be a need to stay away, like if I may say, like sometimes spend time with your friends, away from your partner, away from the person you're living with, away from your mother, away from, a contract you have signed. This feeling of balance needs to be there. So, too much of other, you need to pursue your own sometimes interest, even when your partner doesn't like. So, if you like music, you like dancing, you like to dress up, you like to be out, you got to balance that. It's even a normal scenario, that is the healthy thing to do. But in this year, when there is so much concentration on the others, you will find that there's a part of you that is not being given attention. And for Leos, there's nothing worse than that. You are the king, you are the center, you're the queen, you're supposed to be the center of your own attention because you shine outward and then inspire others to follow through. You're the sign of joy, of sun. There's only one ruler of Leo. There is no other sign like that, apart from Cancer, yeah, Moon. But still, it's a uniqueness to have. Sun is the center of the solar system. Sun doesn't start rotating around the other planets. That will be wrong. It will be wrong by natural order of things. And you'll feel that in your body that that's not the natural order of things. You cannot change the others by bending 10,000 ways. That's one of the biggest lessons which is going to come out of this. And you already know this in your soul. Listen to others without judgment. Here we are also learning to walk a mile in other person's shoes to some extent. But don't get lost walking in their shoes. You have your own life to take care of. Choose your battles wisely, objectively. There's a barrier you need to have to some extent from giving up all of your faculties to the other person. It's very much possible when this happens that we find the right balance, because that's exactly what the planets are trying to do. The perfect partner, the perfect friendship, the perfect life coach, the perfect job, the perfect contract, where that balance is achieved. But it will come through a process during the course of this year. The Saturn square Uranus is happening this year between 7 degree to 13 degree of Leos. So if you have planets around 7 degree to 13 degree of Leos, which is around 29th, last week of July, first week of June, first week of August, if you're a Leo sun, you would experience this T square much more. When that happens, you have to physically be very careful about your body, and you have to actively do things to take care of your body. Work out for sure. If you have planets between 7 degree to 13 degree of Leo, you're born last week of July, first week of August, it doesn't mean the rest should not, but when Saturn is opposing us, it's physically felt in the body. Especially Leo sun would physically feel it. Leo moon will emotionally feel it. Leo ascendant will feel it across their emotional and career life and physical life. So if you have planets between 7 degree to 13 degrees, it's very important to work out, to take care of your health, to take care of your body, to do active things, to be contributing to your wellness in some ways. The new moon that we just had in Aquarius in your house of career, in your house of commitments was happening at 23 degrees. So if you're born around 16th of August, or if you have planets, Leo sun, moon, ascendant, around 23 degree of Leo, 3 degree before, 3 degree after, which is, 3 or 4 days before and after 16th of August, you'll find that a new phase in your uh, in your contracts, in your commitment, even a new contract might have started, or a new partnership might have come across, or a new way of being with others would already be felt by you. And the next 2 weeks, you'll find that you are actively working towards establishing order, to launch this new contract, to launch this new partnership, to begin a new client. You might be landing a new client. You might be redefining existing commitment or contract. This is true for all of you, but especially true for 16th of August born, around 16th of August born Leo, or around 23 degree Leo. Being, changing the way we negotiate with our partner, with our allies, the way we handle critics. There's like a new force, new energy. Wherever new moon is, new energy is infused by cosmos in it, and it helps us change and start a new chapter on what's going on in our relationship, how we're being treated. This is your half birthday if you're a Leo sun. So it's like 6 months of looking back at the rest of the year, and then looking to start a new chapter towards your learning to delegate, going for the right kind of partner, bouncing ideas off another, which could help you completely at this time. A partner becomes a mirror here in self-discovery. So it will be the time to actualize your potential through another. You'll be balancing your personal interests and goals with another, and you'll be learning to hold that at the right balance without losing yourself in some ways. But you might be figuring out, renegotiating the terms of that right now. Mercury is also retrograde till 20th of February. If you're watching this in February, then you would experience that right now you might be rewriting some of those rules, rewriting what's unsaid. Sometimes old issues might have come up in the last couple of weeks in your relationships, in your commitments, in your contracts. And you might be rewriting the rules of what you want in other, what you want in relationships, what you want in clients, what you want in business partner. There might be a need to know more in that direction. There might be a mundane responsibility, right? Renegotiation of client contract. There might be refining how much you're giving and taking in that. All the previous assumptions might be getting revised. And you might be looking to nip some of the problems in the bud. If you're starting a new partnership, starting a new relationship, by dealing with some old patterns in relationships. And some of those patterns might be showing up already. But as I said, you have Jupiter here. Jupiter brings faith, it brings expansion, it brings more. It finds you the right position, it finds you the right relationships, it finds you and magnifies the gains that you can have from others here. It strengthens your faith in others as well. It strengthens the faith that other people have in you as well. So even if there's some relationships that are released, or their partnerships that undergo shift, including certain disruptions that might happen, they are to grow you to the next level. They will be gainful in some ways for you. They would work out in some ways for you. They would work out in your favor in some ways. So that's what I have for you, Leo, today. I wish you a lot of luck. This is a great aspect, but it is life-changing in some ways. Having a concentration of planets on a critical axis is always life-changing. And with Uranus involvement, some of this can happen suddenly. Some of this can happen suddenly out of the blue. Uranus this year is again going to move between 7 degree to 13 degrees. So the suddenness factor will be felt more by Leos between 7 degree to 13 degree, which is again last week of July, first week of June. For the rest of you, especially around, sorry, why do I keep saying June? I'm sorry, last week of July and first week of August. For the second week of August born, which is around 20s, if you have planets in 20s of Leo, You might already know, you might have gone back and forth about it, and after 2 weeks in February, you might just decide to go new. And the more sudden changes in your work, in your position, in your career might come over the course of next couple of years, because Uranus is here till 2026. This year, it's only moving from 7 degree to 13 degree over your career house. Usually, Uranus is strongly felt when it makes an exact aspect to your chart, but you would feel this restlessness to change something in your career too. You'll have ideas as well. Uranus is a genius planet, once in a lifetime for very few signs to have in their career. So the restlessness is leading you to a more creative place, to a more spontaneous place, to a place where you don't have to be what other people think you should be. It is leading to a place where you want to be. And it's giving you the radical confidence to be how you want to be in your career. And that's what Saturn will give you, the structure on how to back that in a lucrative fashion, in a form of a long-term contract, in form of a long-term partnership, in form of a long-term way to deal with your clients in some way. So this dissonance, this need for freedom, this whole inner tension that you're feeling, it can be harnessed in a lucrative and a long-lasting way, which can benefit you. So good luck for that, Leo, and I'll see you in the next video now.